Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Today is the 15th of Rabiul Awwal, Wednesday, and we are going through the book Al-Qawl al-Mufid, the explanation of Kitab Tawheed by Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih Al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah. On page 44, chapter 16, the saying of Allah the Most High until fear is banished from the angels' hearts. Chapter 16, the saying of Allah the Most High until fear is banished from the angels' hearts. Until fear is banished. Until.
Go on.
Until fear is banished from their angels' hearts. They say, what is that your Lord has said? They say the truth, and He is the Most High, the Most Great.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. حتى إذا فزع عن قلوبهم قالوا ماذا قال ربكم ماذا قال ربكم قالوا الحق وهو العلي الكبير. Surah 7. And the Imam Muhammad ibn Suhaib rahimahullah, number of times he brings the chapter title as to be the verse. Like we have seen the previous two chapters, we have seen that how the Imam had started the chapter with a verse. And here the Imam rahimahullah alayhi, Muhammad Wahab, is bringing as well other proofs in order to show that Allah Azza wa Jal is the only one who deserves to be worshipped. So he brings the ayah which is to do with the angels, and those angels are the most closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because they are the inhabitants of the heavens and the ones who knows about the attributes of Allah the most, so they will be the ones who fear Allah the most. So he brings this, that if those angels who are knowing the attributes of Allah, which is to do with His jalal, to do with His glorification, because there are two types of attributes to do with His beauty, the jamal, and attributes attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding His jalal, which is His might. So the ones that makes you scared and terrified are the ones to do with the attributes to do with His glorification, which is His jalal. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's talking about what happened to the angels, and what happened to their hearts when the fear goes away from them. And we're going to explain that because qulubihim is referring back to the angels. Their hearts there is referring back to the angels, as we're going to see from the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as soon as that the angels hear the commands from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if He decrees a matter to do with the heavens, not to do with the earth, then the angels would hear like a chain would drop on top of a rock, and that chain is making a big sound until that the angel would be on their faces in prostration, and they call it saq, like being sworn away, and until that is banished, until the fear from their heart is banished, حتى إذا فزع عن قلوبهم, they would raise up their heads and they would say, to whom? They would say to each other, ماذا قال ربكم? The angels said, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? And قالوا here, they said, refers back to angel Jibreel alayhi salam, because we're going to see later on in a hadith which is authentic, that is, Jibreel is the one who will come to them and they will ask him, what did your Lord say? So he said, they would say, he said al-haq. Al-haq, which means the truth. And always Allah would say the truth. And If it is a decree for the earthly people, then it will be in details. So they would say, for example, there will be something had happened so and so. This is the one that the shayateen, the devils, the jinn would steal. But if it's to do with the inhabitants of the heavens, this has nothing to do with the shayateen. They only steal the ones. So when they asked Angel Jibreel alayhi salam, what did your Lord say? He would say, al-haq. And the angels, they know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the haq. But this is in terms of a glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And praising Allah the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. حَتَّى إِذَا فُزِّعَ عَنْ قُلُوبِهِمْ. This is the fear. And the fear goes onto the heart. And the angels have hearts. The angels, they do have hearts. And if they do have hearts, they do have minds. So that like people think they don't have minds, they don't think. No, they do have minds. But they always would obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty Azza wa Jalla. يَفْعَلُونَ وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. And they would do what Allah commands them. And if they have the hearts and they have the minds, then they have bodies. And we know that for a fact, because Jibreel alayhi salam, in his real form, he is being seen with 600 wings. So wings means bodies. So the angels, they do have bodies. And the angels, they do have hearts. And they do have minds. Right. From this ayah, we say that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one, as at the end of the verse says, وَهُوَ الْعَلِي, the one who is high, and عُلُو with that, وَعُلُو صِفَات. His high in his attributes, and his high in his essence. The highness of his attributes, all the sects that belong to the Islam, even the Jahmiyyah, they believe in such a thing. Even the Jahmiyyah believe in such a thing. And as for the ulu, that, okay, as for ulu with that, excuse me for a minute. Yes, go. As for ulu with that, this is the essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be high. Many partisans or many firq had disagreed with this. The ones who we know from them is the Mu'tazila and the Jahmiyyah and also the Asha'ira, except for the ones who are muhaqqiqun, the scholars of them, they have attributed the ulu to Allah, like Imam al-Nawawi and Imam ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. They have attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-ulu fi that. But other scholars, they did not attribute the ulu in the that. Like Imam al-Juwayni, in his first phase of his aqidah, he did not believe in that. But we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he number of times, he says in the verses, Al-Ali. Al-Ali means the high. Al-Ali in his attributes, Al-Kabir. Al-Kabir, the one who's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, talks about his glory, talks about his pride. So Al-Kabir means the pride of Allah Azza wa Jal. Right, in this ayah, we benefit that the angels, they fear Allah, and number of verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describe them to say that يَخَافُونَ رَبَّهُمْ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ وَهُمْ مِنْ خَشْيَةِ اللَّهِ وَهُمْ مِنْ خَشْيَتِهِ مُشْفِقُونَ. And they are from his fear, they are and from his fear they are scared. وَهُمْ مِنْ خَشْيَتِهِ مُشْفِقُونَ. Say, so the angels, they are fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also this verse attribute hearts to the angels, حَتَّى إِذَا فُزِّعَ عَنْ قُلُوبِهِمْ, and also attributes bodies, because if they have hearts, they do have bodies. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, جَاعِلُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ رُسُلًا أُولِي أَجْنِحَةٍ. Also, we find that those angels, they do glorify Allah. يُسَبِّحُونَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ لَا يَفْتُرُونَ. They all the time glorifying Allah, all night and all day, non-stopping. So their food is the tasbih. They don't eat, they don't drink. Also we said, we attribute to them the minds, al-uqul. For verily the hearts and the minds are linked together. And then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks, this is another attribute or another benefit from this verse, that Allah speaks. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks the way He wants and whenever He wants. So the speech of Allah Azza wa Jal is linked to His Mashi'ah. And it's not like what the Asha'ira think about the speech. They actually, the Asha'ira confirm 7 attributes. And one of those attributes they confirm is the speech. But actually they don't confirm it like the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يتكلم, He speaks بصوت وحرف. He speaks with a sound and a letter. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke the Quran. He said Alif Lam Mim. Whereas the Asha'ira, they say that Allah does not speak with a will. And the speech is just like the life is with Him. I mean, I'm speaking now something maybe it needs a bit of you to understand what I'm saying. Those Asha'ira, they believe that this speech is something from the past. It's not something that's happening and whenever Allah wants to speak, He will speak. No, they think it's just like it's with Allah, just like the life is with Allah, like the hearing is with Allah, like the eyesight with Allah. And this is not right. Because they are actually denying that Allah speaks. And that is why they say the Quran is not the word of Allah. They say ibaratun. This is considered to be the word of Allah. It is considered to be the word of Allah, not the word of Allah. So we say that's batil. And this is not really right. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke the Quran. Jibreel alayhi salam took that speech of Allah and gave it to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So, in fact, the Asha'ira is not as far away from the Jahmiyyah who say the same thing. And that is why some of the great scholars of the Asha'ira, they say, we have no difference between us and the Jahmiyyah when we say such a thing. For we are agreed with them that the Quran is between the two covers of the book is to be created. But the Jahmiyyah says created, and we say it is the ibara and kalam. It's considered to be the speech of Allah. So they did not say it is the word of Allah. Also, from the thing that we benefit from this verse, that Allah says the haqq. And that's what the Quran had emphasized. Wallahu yaqulu al-haqq. Allah says the haqq. Wa huwa yahdi as-sabil. And Allah also guides to the path. فَالْحَقُّ وَالْحَقَّ أَقُولُ Surah Sad, verse 84. Haqq, the truth, and the truth I say. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they say nothing except for the haqq, because He's the haqq. And nothing comes out of the haqq except for the haqq. Now we come into the hadith which explains more the ayah itself. And the hadith is in Sahih al-Bukhari. Now,
the Prophet ﷺ said, when Allah decrees a matter in the heaven, the angels strike their wings in submission to His statement, as if the sound of Allah's voice, were a chain being dragged upon smooth rocks, and it penetrates them, causing them to be terrified. Until when the state of fear is banished from their hearts, they say, what has your Lord said?
This is the ayah, basically.
They say the truth, and He is the Most High, the Most Great. Then the eavesdroppers, devils, hear their order, and their eavesdroppers are like this.
I don't understand you have to be clearer, just to be clearer, because you're lumping words together. Take it easy. And
then the eavesdroppers, eavesdroppers.
The eaves. What is the eaves, please?
And listening.
The ears.
Eaves.
Eaves. Okay, go
on. Then the eavesdroppers, devils, hear their order, and these eavesdroppers are like this, one over the other. Sufyan demonstrated that by holding his hands slanted and separating the fingers. Thus an eavesdropper hears a word that he will convey to one who is below him, until the last of them will convey it to the tongue of the magician or fortune teller. Sometimes a shooting star may strike the devil before he can convey it, and sometimes he may convey it before the shooting star strikes him, whereupon the magician adds to it 100 lies. Then it is said, did he not tell us such and such a thing on such and such a date? So the magician is thought to have told the truth because of that statement which was heard from the heaven. Bukhari.
Alhamdulillah that I know to read Arabic. Wallahi, the difference between the Arabic and the English is like the difference between heavens and earth. And I'm not joking. There's no even taste in the hadith that you've narrated in English. Let me read it in Arabic. On the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, it is sahih. أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا قضي أو إذا قضى الله الأمر في السماء, if Allah decrees the matter in the heavens, ضربت الملائكة بأجنحتها خضعانا لقوله, the angels will put their wings down as in submission and in fear to what he says. كأنه سلسلة على صفوان, it is like a chain being dragged on a smooth rock. ينفذهم ذلك, it will penetrate them. حتى إذا فزع عن قلوبهم قالوا ماذا قال ربكم قالوا الحق وهو العلي الكبير, until when it is being banished from their hearts, they would say what your Lord had said. They would say the haqq, and he is the all high, the almighty. فيسمعها مسترق السمع, then the person who is stealing the hearing, he would hear it. ومسترق السمع هكذا بعضه فوق بعض, and the ones who are stealing the hearings are like this. وصفه سفيان بكفه. Now the words ومسترق السمع هكذا بعضه فوق بعض, it could be from the words of Abu Hurairah, it could be the words from the ones who took from Abu Hurairah, that is Sufyan. And then Sufyan describes, and he had described it like this, and he put his hand with his fingers pointing this way, and he separated. قال وبدد بين أصابعه, and we had, so those are the shayateen or the jinn, they go on top of each other. So he did like this. قال وبدد بين أصابعه فيسمع الكلمة, he would hear the hearing. فيلقيها إلى من تحته, he would send it to the one who is below him. قال ثم يلقيها الآخر إلى من تحته, and the one who is under, he would give it to the one who is under. حتى يلقيها على لسان الساحر أو الكاهن, until it goes all the way down to the last one. He will give it to the sorcerer or the fortune teller. فربما أدركه الشهاب قبل أن يلقيها, maybe the shooting star will get to him before he's able to give it to his companion. So this is another narration. He says قال يلقيها إلى صاحبه فيحرق, so the one who is on the top, before he gives it to the one who is below, he will not be able, because the shooting star will come to him and burn him before. وربما ألقاها قبل أن يدركها, but maybe he will be able to give it to the one below, but still he will be what? Shot with a shooting star. So the shooting star will get him regardless of whether he's able to convey it or not. So in both ways, that is, this person, this jinn, he knows he's going to be killed. قال فيكذب معها 100 كذبة, and he would lie with it 100 lies. قال فيقال أليس قد قال لنا يوم كذا وكذا, the people would say to regarding the sorcerer, didn't he say to us so and so, كذا وكذا, so and so, that means which is the truth. فيصدق بتلك الكلمة التي سمعت من السماء, he will be believed in everything he says just because of one true hearing, one truthful statement. This is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, which we'll add to it a number of hadith, and that is to be added to it inshallah to explain to you. First of all, this is an explanation of the ayah. In Sahih Bukhari, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in Sahih Bukhari, Abu Hurairah narrates for us that the Prophet said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he decrees the matter in the heavens, so the matters will be decreed in the heaven. And there are two types of decrees, one which is regarding the inhabitants of the heavens, and one which is regarding the earth. قال ضربت, and that means regarding the creation. ضربت الملائكة بأجنحتها خضعانا لقوله. Whether this command or that command, Allah, when he decrees the matter, the angels will submit. And here, the angel will submit, and they'll put their wings as a sign of humbleness. Now I'm going to narrate to you how this is being as well attributed. In Sunan Abi Dawood 4738, on the authority of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, إذا تكلم الله بالوحي, if Allah speaks the revelation, سمعه السماء للسماء صلصلة كجر السلسلة على الصفا. That is, the people of the heavens, the inhabitants of the heavens, from the angels, they would hear a salsala, or like a sound of crash, scratching, of a كجر السلسلة على الصفا, just like you're dragging a chain on top of a smooth rock. فيصعقون. فيصعقون, that means they will faint and go on top of their faces in prostration. فيصعقون, they'll be swoon away. فلا يزالون كذلك, they will stay like this حتى يأتيهم جبريل, until Jibreel عليه السلام comes to them. حتى إذا جاءهم جبريل, when he comes, فزع عن قلوبهم, the fear will go away from their hearts. قال فيقولون يا جبريل, they would say, oh Jibreel, ماذا قال ربك, what did your Lord say? فيقول الحق الحق, أو الحق الحق. So here, explanation of that verse when we said that when they ask, the one who's going to answer, who's that? Jibreel alayhi salam. He's the one who's going to answer them, that Allah said the haqq. And this is, as I said, regarding the decrees of the heavens. If it's decrees of the earth, then it will be in detail what did your Lord say, and He will explain what He had said. So this hadith tells us how the interpretation of the word ضربت الملائكة بأجنحتها خضعان. The angel will put their wings in signs of submission, submission and fear. So this is a hadith that would tell us as well how the angels would do it. Also, we have another hadith which is I'm going to narrate it later on because it's linked to which is linked to ours, but it's linked as well to the jinn. So let me just narrate it in a minute. Let me just link it to the jinn and then we will do it, inshallah. He says, كأنه سلسلة على صفوان. The chain when it drags on the rock, the chain of which is the metal chain. And it makes a very noisy sound. ينفذهم ذلك, it would penetrate them. It would go inside them to the fear until Allah Azza wa Jalla, until the Prophet of Allah would recite the verse in Surah Saba, verse 23, حتى إذا فزع عن قلوبهم قالوا ماذا قال ربكم قالوا الحق وهو العلي الكبير. Now this is the interpretation of the Prophet ﷺ, and we have to stick to it. For verily, if we have an interpretation from a companion, interpretation of the Prophet, priority goes to who? To the Prophet ﷺ. And the interpretation of a companion would be, in terms of power, if the Prophet of Allah did not interpret that verse. Then after that, we will say, yes, interpretation of a companion is a hujjah. Is a hujjah, which is a proof. And we have said a number of interpretations of Abdullah ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, and others. As for the interpretation of the ones who comes after the companions, like the tabi'un, those are the ones, they're not hujjah unless they have linked to the companion who is an interpreter of the Quran. Like Mujahid, one of the followers, he was a student of Abdullah ibn Abbas, and then he had actually presented the Mus'haf in interpretation in front of Abdullah ibn Abbas 20 times or more. And he would stand and stop on every verse, and he would ask about the meaning of it. So whenever Mujahid says something, and it's not being opposed by a companion or a prophet, then we'll take his interpretations to be authentic. Right. Then he says, قال فيستمعها مسترق السمع. The one who will steal the hearing, he will snatch it. Because we know, Allah says about those jinn, إِلَّا مَنْ خَطِفَ الْخَطْفَةَ فَأَتْبَعَهُ شِهَابٌ ثَاقِبٌ, in Surah Al-Safat. Except for the one who had snatched the hearing. Those, they snatch it, they steal it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had actually explained to us how do they sit in the Quran. Here we have in this hadith how they raise each other, or they ride on top of each other until we reach the heavens. One on top of each other. Now we can't do that ourselves as a human being. This Allah Azza wa Jalla had given this power to those jinn in order to be like that fitna for the people. Allah will test the people and their iman with these jinns as well. And those jinns, they are being mukallafun, meaning they are responsible for what they do. So there are kuffar of them and there are Muslims of them. Allah says, وَأَنَّا لَمَسْنَا السَّمَاءَ فَوَجَدْنَاهَا مُلِئَتْ حَرَسًا شَدِيدًا وَشُهُبًا. Verily, we have touched the heaven. That means we just seen the heaven, experienced the heaven that's happening. فَوَجَدْنَاهَا, we have found it to be full of stern guards. حَرَسًا شَدِيدًا وَشُهُبًا, and also shooting stars. So what happened is that they used to listen and to hear until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the revelation to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Allah sent the revelation to the Prophet of Allah, Allah Azza wa Jal made the hearing to be impossible. Do you understand that? The hearing during the time of the Prophet of Allah is to be impossible, so that the Quran will be what? Kept to be truthful. So Allah does not want now the Quran to be confused with the words of the sorcerers, because the jinn will start to steal the hearing. So the correct opinion regarding are the shooting stars still at the moment killing them before they reach or they steal the hearing and they give it to the sorcerer, or it didn't stop by the time of the Prophet of Allah? We believe, Allahu A'lam, that the guarding of the heavens properly was happening during the time of the Prophet of Allah until the Quran is finished. When the Prophet of Allah died, the heavens returned back as it was, meaning the jinn are able to steal the hearing, and they are at the moment in communication with the sorcerers and with the jinns as well. Allah says, وَأَنَّا كُنَّا نَقْعُدُ مِنْهَا مَقَاعِدَ لِلسَّمْعِ. Verily, we used to sit in stations. So there are stations for them on the heavens. And I'm talking here only the worldly heaven, not above that. Sama dunya. They can't go there because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had locked وَجَعَلْنَا السَّمَاءَ سَقْفًا مَحْفُوظًا. We have made the heaven to be a roof they cannot penetrate it. So up to the worldly heaven. That's it. فَمَنْ يَسْتَمِعِ الْآنِ يَجِدْ لَهُ شِهَابًا رَصَدًا. Now, if you want to hear the hearing, then you will find that the shihab al-rasada, it will be killing him, the shooting star, and he will not be able to convey the message. وَأَنَّا لَا نَدْرِي أَشَرٌ أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَمْ أَرَادَ بِهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ رَشَدًا. And we don't know. That's to tell you that they don't know the ghaib. Does Allah Azza wa Jal intends, something which is not good? أَشَرٌ أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ is the evil is there, because that's why the shooting star are a lot. أَشَرٌ أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ. They didn't say if Allah wants shar to the earth, but actually they said أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. That means we call it in Arabic مبني للمجهول. We don't really attribute the shar to Allah Azza wa Jal, the evil. We don't know if something being decreed to be bad to the earth, to the people of the earth, or Allah wants good to them. This is Surah Al-Jinn verse 8 to 10. And also in Surah Al-Shu'ara verse 210, 212, Allah says, وَمَا تَنَزَّلَتْ بِهِ الشَّيَاطِينَ. And this Quran is not the shayaateen's words. وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُمْ. And it's not fit for them. وَمَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ. And they will not be able to do so. إِنَّهُمْ عَنِ السَّمْعِ لَمَعْزُولُونَ. Verily, they are being secluded, or they're being isolated from the hearing. And we're going to talk about, inshallah, how as well the jinn found out about the Prophet of Allah and the revelation of the Quran. So, here, that the hadith explains to us that the jinn goes on top of each other because Allah has given them the power, okay? They're given the power to go on top of each other. Until they reach the heaven, they sit there and they wait for the command from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Then they steal it. Either they will have a shooting star before he conveys it to the one underneath, or he will be able to convey to the one underneath, but still the shihab, the shooting star, will get it. So they're actually suicides. The shaitan send suicides. They are willing to steal the hearing regardless of the sacrificial of one of them. And that shows the dedication in their kufr. Do you understand that? Dedication in what? In their kufr. Because they're not allowed to steal the hearing. So when they are called ikhlas, basically. Ikhlas in their kufr. Because they are suicides. They are willing to commit suicide in order to spread the batil. The last one, he knows he's going to give it to someone who's not supposed to be giving it to him, which is, we call it the call center to kufr. There's a call center for kufr in the jinn, which is the shayateen, and call center for kufr on the earth, and those are the sorcerers. They are called, not to Islam, called to what? To kufr center. He will come and will put it in another narration says, قال كالدجاجة, like the chicken, crickling it. Crickling the chicken, the so they will give it like, it's like an input into the ear of the sorcerer. And straight away, he will hear it. And I have seen those sorcerers, subhanAllah, they will just say, wait, the secret is coming to me. And he's telling him. Right, this is the sorcerer. And the sorcerer is the one who does incantation, which is, of course, with shirk. And he would pretend that he would do supernatural things. And he would change things. And also separate between wives and husbands. As for the fortune teller, he's the one who knows about the future. So the one who tells you, as for the one who tells you about the past, that is not a kahin, fortune teller. Because the one of the past, it could be, for example, a research into the history. Okay? Or it could be a jinn he's cooperating with and is giving him the past of so-and-so because he was living longer time. So he would tell him, for example, your great-grandfather used to do this. Because this jinn, either was communication with his great-grandfather jinn, or he himself as a jinn, he lived for a long, long time. Because of that, they will be able to tell this fortune teller what is in the past. So the fortune teller is the one who tells you about the what? The future. But the one who tells you the past, it is something from the jinn. They don't have to listen to the hearing here. The one who listens to the hearing is giving you something from what? From the future, not from the past. قال فربما أدركه شهاب ثاقب. That maybe a shooting star will come to him before he gives it to the one below him, or he will be able to give it to him until it goes down to the sorcerer. Now, Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah, in his book Al-Qawl Al-Mufid, he says that the human being, by the way, do you have an echo or no echo? Can you just ask who's the one who's the Faisal here? Is there any echo here? Can you just switch off that thing? I'm getting a headache, I don't know why. Yes, it is. It's getting a headache. See, look, the difference? SubhanAllah. The one who talks who knows. Now I'm relaxed. It's like knocking in my head from inside. This echo, I wish I could really wipe it off. Right, okay. Going back, sorry about that. The Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah, he says something which we disagree with. We adapt the scholars who say that it is not allowed for a man to have a relationship with a jinn. And he says that he would, a person would use the jinn for helping the people. Dealing with a jinn is muharram, is prohibited. Because you're dealing with someone who is behind the screen. You don't see him. Something which is, you don't see him, how can you trust him? You don't trust the people in front of you. How can you trust somebody you don't see him? And that is what we say that companions. We don't have, for example, a companion who used to have a link between him and a jinn and used to fix things. Okay? So I'm putting here some question marks regarding some issues which has been mentioned, which we do not agree upon. And he's saying that he could use a jinn to tell him, about because these jinns are Muslims and they could cooperate with the Muslims. How can we know they're Muslims? How can we know that he's a Muslim? He could say to you that I'm a Muslim. One of them, he was talking that I'm Salafi. I'm not joking with him. He said, I'm Salafi and I attend the classes of Sheikh. So he mentioned the Sheikhs as well. Maybe you're right, maybe wrong. I don't know. Do I know that he's... I don't know. I'm a human being, I don't know. So I'm going to ask him, give me tazkiyah. Which jinn are you going to give me tazkiyah from? Give me the Sheikh jinn, please, give me tazkiyah from. Do you understand me? Can I ask that? Can I have a reference, please, from the Sheikh? You can't. So it's not really, there's no communication between us and the jinn. Just like it was at the time of the Prophet of Allah. The Prophet of Allah was sent to jinn and mankind, but nobody else. Right. Here, we're going to, also, we say to you that there are benefits of this hadith, and we're going to add a number of hadith to tell you about this stealing. First of all, the fawaid of this. First of all, he says that he says that this person, when this jinn, when he gives it to his sorcerer, he would lie with it 100 lies. Now, he would lie. Either the sorcerer or the fortune teller would lie, or the jinn himself will lie to the sorcerer. Do you understand me? Will give him with the lies. Both, I think, are interpretation. So either the jinn, when he gives it to the sorcerer, give him. Now it says 100 lies. Is it 100 lies? That means 100 exactly? No, it means a lot of lies. It could be 100, it could be 99, it could be 110, it could be 120, it could be 75. 100 lies means what? Many lies. And the Arab used it, for using a lot, hundreds of lies, 100 lies. It doesn't mean 100 itself. So the people, they would believe all these lies because of one single truthful statement. One single truthful statement. Just because of that truthful statement, they would believe all the lies. They would say, for example, there's a flood in such and such place and such time. And that flood takes place. So they would believe all the lies because of that, as I said, single fact. Listen now to some of the hadith that I've gathered for you. Before that as well, the benefits. First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speak. Number 2, the glory of Allah Azza wa Jal. Number 3, angels have wings. Number 4, the fear of the angels. Number 5, angels, they speak. And they have aql, just like the same benefits of the one before. And nothing comes from Allah Azza wa Jal except for the haqq. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives the power to the jinn to go and reach the heavens. And this is a fitna and a test for the people. Also the jinn are too many and a lot. They help one another. And the fortune tellers are from the ones who lies a lot unto the people. Also the magician, he would make the picture for the people who has been under the magic, which is not the reality. He would make it something which is not real by giving him lies. Then he gives us a hadith, which is An Nawas bin Sam'an. Do you have that hadith? No. Okay, that hadith, anyway, is unauthentic. It is inauthentic, and you'll find it in Dilal al-Jannah of Shaykh al-Albani, 515. 515, which is unauthentic, but we're going to substitute it with number of hadith. First of all, hadith in Sahih Imam Muslim, numbering 229. And Muslim Imam Ahmad, 1883. On the authority of Abdullah ibn Abbas, from a man from the Ansar. There is a companion. بينما هم جلوس ليلة مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. While they were sitting with the Prophet of Allah one night, فرمي بنجم فاستنار. A shooting star came and it was lighting the heaven, the skies. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Prophet Allah said, ماذا كنتم تقولون إذا رمي بمثل هذا? What did you used to say when something is being thrown like this? قلنا, we used to say, كنا نقول, we used to say, ولد عظيم أو يموت عظيم. We used to say, that is, this is the birth of someone who's great, or the death of someone who's great. As Zuhri, he had said, one of the great scholars, that is, كان يرمى بها في الجاهلية ولكن غلظت حين بعث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. It used to be these shooting stars in the time before the Prophet of Allah, but when the Prophet of Allah has been sent the revelation, there were too many of them. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet of Allah said, فإنها لا يرمى بها لموت أحد ولا لحياته. Those shooting stars, they don't take place. This phenomenon, not because of the death of someone or the birth of someone. But ولكن ربنا تبارك وتعالى اسمه. When Allah, the glorified, His name, and exalted He is, إذا قضى أمرا, when He decrees a matter, سبح حملة العرش. The holders of the throne will make tasbih. Tasbih, subhanallah. ثم سبح أهل السماء الذين يلونهم. Then the ones who are in the heavens underneath, they will make tasbih. حتى يبلغ التسبيح أهل هذه السماء الدنيا. Until this tasbih will reach the inhabitants of the worldly heaven. ثم قال الذين يلونهم أو يلون حملة العرش لحملة العرش. Then the ones who are from the angels, below the angels who are the holders of the throne, they will say to the angels who are the holders of the throne, ماذا قال ربكم? What did your Lord say? So imagine the angels holding the throne at the top. The other one below them, they will ask them, what did your Lord say? قال فيخبرونهم. They will tell them. قال فيستخبر أهل السماوات بعضهم بعضا. So they will tell them what Allah said, and now the angel will start to tell one another. Each one will ask the one who's above him. حتى يبلغ هذه السماء الدنيا. Until it will reach the heavens of the world, and that is the lowest heaven. قال فتخطف الجن السمع. Then the jinn will steal that hearing, that thing which is the command of Allah. فيقذفون إلى أوليائهم ويرقون به. So they will come and give it to their helpers from the people, from the sorcerers and the fortune tellers. ويرمون به. And they will be shot with this shooting star. فما جاءوا به على وجهه فهو حق. Whatever they conveyed as it was being conveyed and is being decreed, it will be the haqq. ولكنهم يزيدون فيه. قال ولكنهم يزيدون فيه. يكذبون فيه ويزيدون فيه. But يقرفون فيه ويزيدون فيه. But they will lie in it and they will increase in it. So they increase and lie, either the sorcerers or the jinn themselves who give this command to the sorcerers. Also from Abdullah ibn Abbas, narrated, that is Abu Bakr ibn Abi Shaybah, and Shaykh al-Albani makes it authentic, and you'll find it in Sahih al-Sirah al-Nabawiyah, page 102. He said, لم تكن قبيلة من الجن إلا ولهم مقاعد للسمع. Any tribe of the jinn, before the revelation of the Prophet of Allah, they used to have their own stations. So this is the station of such and such tribe, station of such and such tribe. So each qabila of the jinn, they have their own stations to listen to the commands of Allah. قال فإذا نزل الوحي سمعت الملائكة صوتا كصوت الحديدة ألقيتها على الصفا. If the wahy, the revelation, whether this revelation came to the Prophet Muhammad or came to any prophet from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قال the angel would hear a sound just like the sound of a metal حديدة ألقيتها على الصفا, that you throw it on the smooth rock. قال فإذا سمعت الملائكة خروا سجدا. And when the angels hear this, they will go in prostration. فلم يرفعوا رؤوسهم. They will not lift up their heads حتى ينزل, until it comes down, the command. قال until حتى ينزل جبريل عليه السلام. فإذا نزل, when he comes down, قال بعضهم لبعض, they say to each other, ماذا قال ربكم? What did your Lord say? فإن كان مما يكون في السماء قالوا الحق وهو العلي الكبير. If it was the decree regarding the heavens, they would say it is the haqq, and he is the all high, the all pride. وإن كان مما يكون في الأرض من أمر الغيب. But if it was from something which is from the earth, from the matters of the ghaib, the unseen, okay, of the earth. So they said تكلموا به. Something which is going to be happening on the earth, then تكلموا به. They will say it in details. فقالوا يكون كذا وكذا وكذا. They will say, this happened, this happened, this will happen. قال فسمعته فتسمعه الشياطين. Then the shayateen will hear it. فينزلون على أوليائهم. They will go down and descend on their helpers. Those are the sorcerers and the fortune tellers. فلما بعث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, when the Prophet of Allah was sent, دحروا بالنجوم. They were repelled by the stars. فَكَانَ أَوَّلَ مَنْ عَلِمَ بِهَا ثَقِيفٌ. The first one from the tribes who knew about it is the tribe of Thaqif. فَكَان ذَوُ الْغَنَمِ مِنْهُمْ يَنْطَلِقُ إِلَى غَنَمٍ فَيَذْبَحُ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ شَاةٍ. The person who's the owner of the sheep, he will go to his sheep and he will slaughter every time, every time that he goes, he will slaughter a sheep. And the one who's the owner of the ibil, وَذَوُ الْأُبِلِ يَذْحَرُ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ بَعِيرًا. And he will, the one who's the owner of the she-camels or the camels, he will go and he will every day slaughter a camel. فَأَسْرَعَ النَّاسُ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ. The people started to spend their money very quickly. فَقَالَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ. They said to each other, لَا تَفْعَلُوا. Don't say do that. فَإِنَّ النُّجُومَ الَّتِي يُهْتَدَى بِهَا وَإِلَّا فَإِنَّهُ أَمْرٌ حَدَثٌ. قال, that is, these are the stars. These are not the stars actually which are getting many because we have to really slaughter a camel or slaughter a sheep. It's actually to guide us through the navigation. So they waited فَنَظَرُوا فَإِذَا النُّجُومُ الَّتِي يُهْتَدَى بِهَا كَمَا هِي لَمْ يُرْمَى مِنْهَا بِشَيْءٍ فَكُفُوا أو فَكَفُوا. So they knew that now, after they looked, that the stars are still there. Nothing had been thrown in front of them. Nothing had happened, been thrown in front of them. So they stopped. وَصَرَفَ اللَّهُ الْجِنَّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made the jinn to be aware. فَسَمِعُوا الْقُرْآنَ. And they heard the Qur'an. فَلَمَّا حَضَرُوهُ. When they heard it, قَالُوا أَنصِتُوا. They said, listen. قَالُوا انطَلَقَتِ الشَّيَاطِينُ إِلَى إِبْلِيسِ. As for the kafir jinn, shayateen kafir jinn, they went to Iblis. فَأَخْبَرُوهُ. They told him. فَقَالَ هَذَا حَدَثٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ. This is something that happened on the earth. فَأْتُونِي مِنْ كُلِّ أَرْضٍ قُرْبَةٍ أو بِتُرْبَةٍ. Come, bring me from every earth like the news. I want a sand. فَلَمَّا أَتَوْا بِتُرْبَةِ تِهَامَةٍ. When they came from the sand which belongs to the area of Tihama, قَالَ هَا هُنَا الْحَدَث. This is what happened. What happened on the earth or in the place of Tihama? What happened actually is that there are jinn who went there and they saw the Prophet ﷺ in Suq Uqab. In that they have heard the Quran from the Prophet ﷺ. Some of them they have believed and some of them they did not. And then they knew why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had guarded the heavens. It's because of the what? Of the Quran. The revelation, which is the Quran. It is because of this. And the shaitan knew it already. He said, Ha hun al-hadath. So the shaitan, Iblis, he didn't know when the Prophet of Allah was going to have a revelation. Was he? He didn't know. Because if he knew, he would have told them, oh, this is why you've been thrown by the shooting star. Okay? He didn't know. He would have warned his followers. But he didn't know. So the Prophet's revelation, it was not given to Iblis, even though Iblis was living from the first moment that Jibreel alayhi salam, even before, Adam alayhi salam was created, he was there before the creation of Adam alayhi salam. Right, hadith which is in Sahih Bukhari 739 and hadith in Sahih Muslim as well. I would like to narrate it for you. Just hang on a second. Sahih Muslim. What happened is my laptop actually not crashed, was updating, so I switched off, and all the screens which I had in front of me, they have disappeared. So right. 1,000. You have 449. You got it. عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما. This is Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. ما قرأ رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على الجن وما رآه. He says that the Prophet of Allah did not recite onto the jinn and he did not see them. انطلق رسول الله. Prophet of Allah, he went في طائفة من أصحابه عاملين إلى سوق عكاظ. He went with his companions, a group of his companions, towards Uqab market, which is a well-known market. وقد حيل بين الشياطين وبين خبر السماء. And the shayateen were not able to listen to the hearing from the heavens because it was protected. And this is from the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal to us. Allah protected our Quran. So He says, وَأُرْسِلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الشُّهُبُ, and the shooting star was sent onto them. فَرَجَعَتِ الشَّيَاطِينُ إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِمْ. The shayateen, the kafir jinn, they went back to their people, to their iblis. فَقَالُوا مَا لَكُمْ. He said, what happened to you? قَالُوا حِيلَ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَ خَبَرِ السَّمَاءِ وَأُرْسِلَتْ عَلَيْنَا الشُّهُبُ. That is, the heavens are now being prohibited upon us. We can't reach it. Or we're going to have shooting star. And shooting star are on us. قَالُوا وَمَا ذَاكَ إِلَّا بِشَيْءٍ قَدْ حَدَثَ. Definitely something had happened, he said. فَضْرِبُوا مَشَارِقَ الْأَرْضِ وَمَغَارِبَهَا. Go on the east and the west, that means all to the land. When they say the east and the west, that means all of the land. فَضْرِبُوا مَشَارِقَ الْأَرْضِ وَمَغَارِبَهَا. فَانظُرُوا مَا هَذَا الَّذِي حَالَ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَ خَبَرِ السَّمَاءِ. See what has prevented us from stealing the hearing from the heavens. فَانطَلَقُوا يَضْرِبُونَ مَشَارِقَ الْأَرْضِ وَمَغَارِبَهَا. They went to the east and the west of the land. فَمَرَّ النَّفَرُ الَّذِينَ أَخَذُوا نَحْوَ تِهَامَةٍ وَهُوَ نَخْلٍ عَامِدِينَ إِلَى سُوقِ عُكَاظٍ وَهُوَ يُصَلِّي بِأَصْحَابِهِ صَلَاةَ الْفَجْرِ. They came, those group of jinn, to the place of Tiham, and they went to Suq Ukaad, and they were in the palm day trees, and they saw the Prophet ﷺ. They don't know he's a prophet, and he was leading his companion in a prayer of the Fajr. فَلَمَّا سَمِعُوا الْقُرْآنَ اسْتَمَعُوا لَهُ. When they heard the Quran, they started to listen to it. So they heard the Quran, but now they started to listen to it and properly. So now it tells you that those jinn are jinn who understand what? Arabic. فَلَمَّا سَمِعُوا الْقُرْآنَ اسْتَمَعُوا لَهُ وَقَالُوا. They said, هَذَا الَّذِي حَالَ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَ خَبَرِ السَّمَاءِ. This is why we are not able to hear the hearings and the commands and to steal as well the decree from the heavens. فَرَجَعُوا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِمْ. They went back to their people. فَقَالُوا يَا قَوْمَنَا. He said, oh people, إِنَّا سَمِعْنَا قُرْآنًا عَجَبًا. We have heard Quran which is wonderful. It's amazing. يَهْدِي إِلَى رُشْدٍ فَآمَنَّا بِهِ. That it guides to the guidance. And we believed in it. So they became believers. وَلَنْ نُشْرِكَ بِرَبِّنَا أَحَدًا. So they became now Muslim jinn. We will not associate anything with our Lord. فأنزل الله عز وجل على نبيه محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سورة الجن. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to him, the Prophet of Allah, قُلْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ أَنَّهُ اسْتَمَعَ نَفَرٌ مِنَ الْجِنِّ, to the end of the verses. So here, this is another narration which is as well we benefit from it. You add it to your book, and we come now to the benefits, or the issues you should say. As I said, the hadith which is being mentioned there, and Nawas ibn Sam'an, is unauthentic, so I'm not going to interpret. The issue number one, it says, the Imam Abdullah says, تفسير الآية, the interpretation of the ayah, حتى إذا فزع عن قلوبهم, which we interpreted properly. It says, number two, ما فيها من الحجة على إبطال الشرك خصوصا من تعلق على الصالحين وهي الآية التي قيل أنها تقطع عروق الشجرة الشرك من القلب. Those are the ones, so it says this is the ayah, second ayah, it's got a proof that to invalidate the shirk. خصوصا من تعلق على الصالحين, the ones who hook themselves to the righteous, because here the angels who are righteous, more righteous, the angels are righteous, the angels, because they're closer to Allah, they don't do any sins, and they know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yet they were scared. So how can you hook yourself to the righteous person and ask for help from him? That is why it says here that this ayah cuts off the veins of the tree of shirk from the hearts. So if you imagine the heart, it's got a tree of shirk, and this tree has got roots. So this ayah cuts the roots. There's nothing will reach that tree. There's no shirk. So he says that if the person knows the glory of his Lord, that the heavens and the inhabitants of the heavens, yus'aqun, they will fall into their faces in prostration. They were scared just for one word that the revelation speaks, which is from Allah Azza wa Jal. So how can the person would associate something from the creation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How can he associate something to Allah? And even at the time of the Arabs, they used to make their own gods. They used to make it from the dates, and then they're hungry, they eat it. And in some of them, they would go to the valley, you would take 4 stones, 3 he would make these stones, rocks, big rocks. 3 will make them to lift up the cauldron in order to cook into it, the saucepan, and the 4th one, he will make it as a god. So he will choose the best of those 3 or 4 rocks. So 3 will make it for the cook, and the one which is the good one, he will make it as what? As a statue, a god to worship him. That's how naive they were. The 3rd one, تفسير قوله قالوا الحق وهو العلي الكبير. The interpretation that they have said, that he said the haqq, and he's all the high, all the pride, kabir, al-kabir al-azim, the great, that we have interpreted. We said قالوا الحق, and Jibreel had said that. And interpretation of the ulu with that, or ulu al-sifat, and we said that as well. So do we have a difference among the partisans and the firqas of the Muslims regarding the ulu as-sifat, the attributes are high? Do we have a difference? No, we don't. All of them are united. But the difference is amongst them regarding the ulu with that, the essence. Number 4, سبب سؤالهم عن ذلك. The reason they were asked about this, ماذا قال ربكم, they asked, what do you look? And that is because they're scared. And they want to know. And maybe Allah had imposed upon them a punishment or something. That's why they're scared. What did the law say? So they were so scared that their hearing blocked. I couldn't hear anything. Only Jibreel alayhi salam is the one who's going to tell them. Tell them that the mightiest of the angels, and the best of them is Jibreel, without any doubt. He says, number 5, Jibreel is the one who answers them. قَدَ وَكَذَا قَالَ الْحَقِّ. He says the haqq. Number 6, ذكر أن أول من يرفع رأسه جبريل. Jibreel alayhi salam, yes, he prostrates, but the first one who lifts up his head is Jibreel. This is based upon a hadith which we said unauthentic, the hadith of Nawas ibn Sam'an. But Jibreel, he has the virtues of, he is the one, they call him al-Namus, remember? Al-Namus, as he's been described by Waraqat ibn Nawfal, which is the one who's the link between the prophets and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the prophets, they have a relation from Jibreel alayhi salam. Number 7, أنه يقول لأهل السماوات كلهم لأنهم يسألونه. So this is the reason that he would say to all the inhabitants of the heavens, all of them they ask. Why? Because it will show, express the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala amongst them, and the greatness of what he had decreed. So Jibreel alayhi salam, when he's been asked, he's asked with all the angels, and will give the answer to all the angels. To show them the greatness of Allah, the greatness of what he had decreed. Number 8, أن الغش يعم أهل السماوات كلهم. That this prostration out of fear, all the inhabitants of the heavens, all of them, they will on their faces. قال صعقوا وخروا لله سجدا, as we have seen from the hadith which I have narrated from the authentic ones. Number 9, ارتجاف السماوات لكلام الله. The heavens would shake because of the power of the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of his magnification and glorification. Number 10, أن جبريل هو الذي ينتهي بالوحي إلى حيث أمره الله. Jibreel alayhi salam, he is the one who is in charge of sending the revelation to the ones whom he's been commanded to send it to, because he is the trustworthy, al-amin, al-wahy. Number 11, ذكر استراق الشياطين, the mentioning of the stealing of the shayateen. So the ones who steal the hearings are not the believers from the jinn. They are the what? The kafir from the jinn, the shayateen. Number 12, صفة ركوب بعضهم على بعض, the way that they ride on top of each other. This is the Sufyan, what he said, like that, on top of one another. We don't know how exactly. Number 13, إرسال الشهب, that is the sending of the comets or the shooting stars. And number 14, أنه تارة يدركه الشهاب قبل أن يلقيها وتارة يلقيها في أذن وليه من الإنس قبل أن يدركه. It is sometimes he would be having the shooting star coming to him before he was able to give it to the one below him. That is from the shaitan, from the jinn. Or he would be able to give it to the one below him, but then the shooting star will get him. So he will be killed regardless. Number 15. كون الكاهن يصدق بعض الأحايين أو الأحيان. That the soothsayer, sometimes he will be truthful because he would be having one hearing that is being given to him by the shaitan into his ear, which is truthful statement. Number 16. كونه يكذب معها 100 كذبة. That he would lie 100 lies. Either the sorcerer or the jinn who's given him the hearing from the heavens. And we said 100 lies means a lot of lies. Number 17. أنه لم يصدق إلا بتلك الكلمة التي سمعت من السماء. أو لم يصدق sorry. أنه لم يصدق كذبه إلا بتلك الكلمة التي سمعت من السماء. That his lie is not being believed. His lies will not be believed except for one truthful statement is being given. So because of that truthful statement, all his lies were believed. Number 18. قبول النفوس للباطل. كيف تعلقون بواحدة ولا يعتبرون ب100. Look how the souls are hooked to the batil, to the untrue, to the falsehood. Why? And he says that he will hook himself to one truthful statement, and they don't really take consideration regarding all these lies, counted as almost 100. So many lies, yet it will not deter them. And rightly so these days. You find that these people, they don't really pay heed. Look what happened to the Muslim countries back in about, you could say, 70 years ago. In Syria, what happened? Lots of killing. The father of this awful man, Bashar, what they did in Tadmur, 50,000 people killed in one city. The tanks were on top of the people. They went on top of the people. They were crushed into their houses. And the people, 70 years, they forgot all of that. And they started all over again. And the history, if you don't learn from it, you're going to be beaten again and again. I'm not saying that we should blame these people being killed because they don't learn from the history, but this is the outcome of every, revolution that they think of. And what makes me sick, those are the people who were starting the revolution and provoking it and supporting it. They're crying for the ones who are being killed. Well, you are the ones who said, do it. You don't care if 1 million is gone. They said 23 million of the Syrian population. And they became 22, no problem. Well, the rats are cats. The rats are cats. 1 million, no problem. And what is that? Their target. That makes me sick as well. Target. The target is not the name. Hurry. The freedom. They want the freedom. Freedom for what? Yeah? Freedom of what? I'll tell you freedom of what? Freedom of kufr. Kufr. In Egypt, before at time of Hosni Mubarak, nobody will be able to touch those things which we call the void. No way that they will talk about that a woman comes on TV to say that I was a Salafi, a liar of course. She's covering herself, okay? Covering herself, not as a hijab, because she's scared. She's a liar. And that she's a Salafi. And now she's coming on the TV to say that the Quran is the word of Muhammad. Nobody would dare at that time of Hosni Mubarak to say that. No way. But now this is the freedom they want. Freedom of everything. Freedom of Islam, freedom of kufr. They're doubting the existence of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And the woman who is negotiating with her, she's naked. She's negotiating with her, but she's got more iman. She kicked her out of the room. She kicked her out of the studio. Get out. But I'm just saying to you, brothers, what is that thing that they need? What do they want? What are they after? Freedom of what? I want to know freedom of what? Subhanallah. Allah la ilaha illahu. So those people were praying such revolution, the killing. Why are you really crying now? You said there's no problem with 1 million goes. We're on the route to kill 1 million. And we're going to achieve what? 0. Nothing. Actually, we're going to be back. Syria is back how many years now? 4. Back. As for the Imran, the buildings, it's going to take hundreds of years. As for the people who are going to bring life to the people. Even if the country settled, lots of Muslims are scattered. Do you think they're going to go back to Syria? They're not going to go back to Syria. What happened to their identity? Okay, ask the Somalis, they'll tell you, because they'll learn the lesson hard way. The Somalis, Maybe, I'm really, alhamdulillah, I would say that the casualties are very, most I would say very little, but under expectation. Expected to, melt with their identity, but they did not. Most of them, they stayed intact. Do you understand? They're together. But some of them, they have lost their identity. So you tell them what happened. Now, even if Somalia goes back to its strength and mashallah security, inshallah, you're not going to find a lot of people go there. They're going to lead this luxury life and doing nothing, taking money from the socials, and they're going to leave that life, easy life. It's very hard. So this is what happened, the revolution. This is the thimar, the thing that you're going to get and win. Allah understand. I don't know where the people's brains are, subhanAllah. People killed by thousands and people yet don't know what's happening. Right, going back now to the number 18, it says that the people will hook onto the batil even though they forgot the hundreds of lies. Subhanallah. As for their companions, from one thing they will learn. From one thing they will learn. And the person with his intellect, if it's being injected with the iman, he will know the haqq, inshallah. Number 19. كونهم يتلقى بعضهم عن بعض تلك الكلمة ويحفظونها ويستدلون بها. That is, كونهم يتلقى بعضهم من بعض تلك الكلمة. الكلمة هي الصدق. That is, this truthful statement of the decree of Allah Azza wa Jal is the one and is the reason why the lies of those sorcerers are being believed. So all their goods are lies, but they're being purchased because of one truthful statement. And look at how dedicated those jinn. Look how many jinns they need to go on top of each other in order, you understand me, to reach the heavens. The one on the top was a suicider. He's going to give it to the one below. God knows how many jinns until it reaches the earth. But none of them lies to his companion. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the truthful statement. Stay truthful. You give it to the human being. Will they say truthful? Give about 100 people in a chain and give one word. So you say, for example, استمعوا لهذا القول. Listen to these words. Just the statement. Give it to 100 people and look what's going to end up at the end. استمعوا لهذا القول لأنه جميل. Listen to this word because it's beautiful. They'll add to it. Listen to this. Do you understand me? It will be added because the human being will add. But the jinn is stuck. The word as it is. Until it reached the human being, which he had light in it. So the jinn, one after the other, gave truthful statement. Same one. SubhanAllah. None of them added. Dedicated to the sihr. Dedicated to the shaitan. Class. Right. Number 20. إثبات الصفات خلافا للأشعرية المعطلة. To attribute the sifat, the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in contrast to the Ash'ariyah who are called mu'attila. Mu'attila, the negators. يعطلون Allah عن صفاته. We said the Ash'ariyah, they only attribute how many? 7. Even one of them, the kalam is not proper. They don't say تكلم الله بصوت وحرف. And the refutation of theirs is in the books. Number 21. التصريح بأن تلك الرجفة والغش خوفا من الله عز وجل. That is the indication and the clarification that this rajfa, the shake, is because of this as well. Fainting is because of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indication of His greatness. And number 22, finally, أنهم يخرون لله سجدا. This hadith is unauthentic, but we said there is a hadith which is authentic that speaks about the same, that the angels will fall in prostration because of their fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this will lead us to the shafa'ah, because the verse that is linked to this verse is the shafa'ah. So inshallah we'll speak about it bi'idhnillah in next week. Shafa'ah is a great topic. Intercession. So if you have any questions regarding what we have heard, please go ahead. You've got 10 to 15 minutes maximum. Now, any questions from the brothers? Otherwise I'm going to question. طيب. ها تفضل. ها.
يوجد مسجد جوار الكعبة.
There's first of all, there's no salamu alaikum in the question. Maybe salam. There's a masjid called Masjid the Jinn. Is it the masjid where the jinn used to go to at the time of the Prophet of Allah? No. Just like Masjid al-Qiblatain. The Masjid al-Qibla wasn't exactly the same spot where the companions turned around. And Masjid al-Qiblatain turned around from the Qibla of Jerusalem to Qibla of Mecca. We don't know what it is. But they have named that Masjid to be Qiblatain. It wasn't at the time of the Prophet of Allah, nor at the time of the companions. As for Masjid al-Jinn, Allahu A'lam. And we don't really want to link any historical things to places in case that those becomes a religious tourism places. A religious tourism places. بصير سياحة دينية. مسجد الجن وسياحة. مسجد القبلتين وسياحة. هاي مشكلة يصير عندنا. سياحة دينية. People even at the moment they go to the 7 masajid, 7 masajid, Masjid Abi Bakr, Masjid Aisha. Where is this 7 masajid? All of it as well, religious tourism. There is no such thing. We don't want now the people to divert that Tawheed and monotheism into going to offer prayers in Masjid al-Qiblatain. Why? Offer to Allah. لا تشد الرحال إلا إلى 3 مساجد. Only 3 masjids are the ones who have or should have their religious designated journey to seek more reward, but not to the masjid of, for example, al-Qiblatain. Yes, Masjid Quba, you go to it, but that is, you don't go from here to Masjid Quba. You go from here to Masjid Medina. And from Medina, you go from there. But you don't go, I'm going to Masjid Quba from here. لا تشد الرحال إلا إلى 3. نعم. تفضل. They have, the angels, they have free will? Of course they do have their free will. But they are creatures who do not sin. يَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. But they would, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam. They ask Allah Azza wa Jal the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created something which they have seen a creature similar to it, which is a jinn, which spread corruption and spilled blood. So they had something to think. Because they don't think. So they're not like people that say, some of them they say they have no brains. No. But they are sinless. They don't make sins. Just like the prophets of Allah, the son of Adam, they are like a human being, but they are immune against major sins. They don't know major sins. They are immune. Do they have intellect? Of course they have intellect. Do they have intellect to do the major sin? To have the intention? Something that would whisper to them? Yes. Something would whisper to them, because the Prophet ﷺ had the whispering of the shaitan, telling him that he was even having intercourse with his wives. And the Prophet one day, he saw a woman passing by. So what happened in his heart? What happened? It leads to fornication, isn't it? So he saw the woman, something came to his heart. Straight away he went to his wife Sauda. Sauda is old. Sauda bint Zam'a. He went to her and she was on the tanur. That means that she's on the baking bread. And you can't leave the bread. He called her. He called her for what? For intercourse. So he did what the wife and the husband does to his wife. After he finished, he said, "Man ra'a minkum mithla hada." Anybody who had seen like this, "Man ra'a minkum mithla hada," or like this, what happened to me, then فَلْيَأْتِ أَهْلَهُ. Let him come to his family. Whatever he sees is going to be in his family. Do you understand that? Whatever he sees, something that pulled his attraction, whether it is the head or the chest or the leg or whatever, you're going to see it in his family. So that will take away the whispering or take away the demand that is inside himself. So the Prophet of Allah had that, but he's immune. Whereas maybe we see a woman, some of them will go and fornicate. Same thing with the angel. The angels are immune against disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands. Okay? They are immune. But as for them to think, and other for them to say, and talk, they talk, and they as well welcome, and they are as well get angry, and they get annoyed, And they as well, but they will fulfill the commands. So when the angels, like the angel of the mountain, he is in charge of the mountains. So he came to the Prophet of Allah, okay, checking up with him. Do you want me to go and crash in between? And he mentioned the two mountains and suggested it. So that means he thinks, can I crash them? So he asked him. Jibreel alayhi salam, he was consulted by the Prophet of Allah. So they've got no thinker and intellect. Why should the Prophet of Allah ask him? When he given him the milk, and he given them what? The wine. So the Prophet ﷺ, he chose what? The milk, which is the fitrah. قال اخترت الفطرة. Who said that? Jibreel alayhi salam. I mean, you chose the nature. So he told the Prophet, you're wrong, you're right. And then when he has been given the choice to be a king prophet or a slave prophet, he looked at Jibreel. What did Jibreel say to him? Tawab. So he thinks or doesn't think? He thinks. So he told him, go down. So he said, slave prophet. You could have been what? King? Prophet. So the angels think, but they are immune against any disobedience to the command. We don't have like the Rafidah, sitting angels. You've heard about Fitras? He does not belong to our tree of angels. It's called Fitras. He is being cursed. This angel, according to them, the Rafidah, is being cursed. And he's in the land without wings. So Allah stripped him out of his wings. This is not true, by the way. I'm just telling you, this is their story. Please put it on the temporary files. So he's got no wings to fly with. So he had heard that Allah granted the Prophet Sibt al-Hussein. You know, Rafidah. There was a Sibt before him, Al-Hassan. Why not the Hassan? He always Hussein. Well, there was a before him, Al-Hassan. They don't like Al-Hassan. Because the Hassan stepped down to Muawiyah. They don't like it. So Al-Hussein. So he heard Al-Hussein. Oh. And he said, you know, he had heard as well the angels in the heavens. They are shouting and mashallah, the celebration. So he said to Jibreel, carry me to because he got no wings to fly. Carry me to this grandson of the Prophet, that maybe Allah will accept his dua. So he went there, and who was making the dua? Not the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Who? Al-Hussein. So Al-Hussein making dua, and the Prophet said, Ameen. So it was greater than Hussein or the Prophet. And the Prophet said, Ameen, and Jibreel said, Ameen. And then the stories, they said, Ameen, oh Allah grant him the wings and give. So, قال فصفق مع الملائكة. So he started to clap with the angels and he flew. Oh, Fitras. Even his name is, makes you laugh. These people, I don't know to what extent you could lie and these people would believe it. He's just like telling their mullahs, come on, lie, we will believe. As much as you lie, we will believe. We are willing to believe anything. How can you believe a hadith which is from the donkey of the Prophet of Allah, linked to the donkey to the donkey? So all the narrators are donkeys. So how can we check the donkey's credibility and how authentic they are? And the reference of your donkeys, please. Hadith Ufayr, yeah, Imam Ufayr, all the way. So who's the donkey who documented the donkey hadith? Who was the donkey who documented the hadith? Must be a donkey. These people, I don't know, how do they believe? Wallahi. So naive. استخف قومه فأطاعوا. نعم. الله المستعان. تفضل.
So the living jinns, were they taught by the Prophet directly, or in the sense where the Prophet was coming with Sahaba?
Did the Prophet ﷺ taught the jinns directly? Yes, after he had heard the Prophet of Allah reciting Surah Al-Ukam, there was an incident where the Prophet of Allah went with Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, and then he drew a line to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, you can't step. If you step, you'll be what? Snatched. So he saw the Prophet ﷺ, and he was seeing like sawad, darkness, surrounding the Prophet. You can't see jinns, but he could see that something is blocking the Prophet of Allah. The Prophet of Allah was giving the da'wah, reciting Quran to the jinn. But he couldn't step over. So he was sent to jinn and Prophet ﷺ. We don't have prophet jinns. We don't have that. All the prophets are from the ins. We don't have prophetesses, women. And we don't have prophets from the angels. We have prophets from human beings. And we know only 25 names, but we know the Prophet of Allah, he said there are 314 and 124,000 prophets. And this hadith is Hassanah Ba'd al-Ilm. Some of us call it Hassan. Now, last question. خلاص. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك الله خيرا.